Today, we're looking at a 2021 Mazda MX-5. Now, everyone in the entire world calls this thing a Miata, including Mazda, but they insist on badging it MX-5. But don't worry about that. Instead, let's worry about the fact there is a meme on the internet that goes something like this: Miata is always the answer. And what that means is, in terms of pure driving pleasure, this car is impossible to beat. But the question is this something you could live with every day? Put another way, should you buy one? Let's find out. Since it debuted in 1989, Mazda has sold well over 1 million of their compact, underpowered, two-seat convertibles. Why? People who love driving love Miatas. There is a purity of purpose to this thing which just really isn't found anywhere else in the car world. As far as the competition goes, there really isn't any. I mean, you could say, yeah, there's the Subaru BRZ, Toyota 86, but those are hardtops. You might say like a 4-cylinder Camaro convertible, 4-cylinder Mustang convertible, but those are just much bigger and much heavier. Really, honestly, the Miata is in a class all by itself. In terms of design, I hope we can all agree that the 4th generation Miata is worlds better than the old smiley face 3rd generation car. From where I'm standing, I really can't see much because it's so low to the ground, and that's part of the design. They had to make this car as small as possible. When it came out, these tiny little headlights, they really shocked people. Everyone was like, whoa, there's no light. But as time rolls on, headlights are getting smaller and smaller, so the face is starting to look more normal. As it sits, I think it's a nice, aggressive face, which matches the character of the car. Coming down the side, it just reads pure sports car. And what I mean is, it has a massive dash to axle ratio. That's the distance between the center of the front wheel and the steering wheel. The longer that is, the sportier a car looks, the more athletic it looks. Think about the Jaguar E-Type, right? That's kind of the poster child for dash to axle. Well, this one looks to be a little bit bigger. It's really well done there. Simple curves. You get to the back, a little bit of muscle hanging off the fender here. Even though the car doesn't have much muscle, it's a sports car, so that's appropriate. You get out back, and all you really need on a vehicle like this is 2 taillights. Anything else is superfluous, and that's basically all it has. This is a case study in minimalism, right? It does what it's supposed to do rather well, but doesn't do any more. I like that. I'm inside the Miata, and there's not too much going on, and that's okay. Remember, this car is made for driving, not for much else. We start off, we've got a relatively button-free steering wheel that feels very sporty, an incredible shifter, great pedals, and an actual honest-to-goodness handbrake. That's great. One cool design flourish I like, a little bit of body colors coming into the cabin. It's simple, it looks cool. You'll find the same thing on a Porsche Boxster or Cayman. There is a navigation screen. It's very small and it doesn't do very much. My advice, just kind of ignore it. Remember, the reason you're buying a car like this is because you want to drive it, not play with technology. It is a convertible, and I need to point out how the roof works, because a lot of times you'll see manufacturers sort of bragging about how quickly their roofs go up and down. I just drove an Aston Martin V8 Vantage Roadster, and the top would drop in less than 7 seconds. Well, let me show you how the Miata works, because even though it's not powered, it goes up and down rather quickly. And if you get it just right, you can lower the top as simply and as quickly as that. One more thing, somehow Mazda has figured out a way to cram 2 cup holders into a relatively small interior. They're behind me currently, but let's say I want my drink right here. Well, if I don't have a passenger, I simply pop it out. I pop it in, boom, there's my beverage. So again, just like the exterior of the car, there's not too much going on the interior, and that's a good thing. Performance. Well, performance is the entire reason you're probably buying a Miata, but we're not talking about ultimate outright performance. Vehicles like this are known as momentum cars, and that means you get up to speed eventually, but once you're there, you don't really have to slow down for corners. So as you're getting to the good parts, you keep the speed up. As far as the oily bits under the hood, there is a 2-liter naturally aspirated Sky Active G inline 4-cylinder motor that makes 181 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque. Not impressive numbers, especially by today's standards. However, because the Miata doesn't weigh anything, it's actually fairly quick in a straight line. The engine's power hits only the rear wheels and it flows through either a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed automatic transmission. However, if you're buying a Miata, don't get the automatic. You're buying one because they're fun, manual transmissions are fun, end of rant. And it really is a fun car. I can't stress this enough. It's a joy to drive. You can find the limits, yours or the car's, almost instantly. It loves being driven hard, and that's why it is such a popular track car. That is why that meme on the internet exists. If I have one complaint about the 4th generation car, it's that the rear is a bit softly sprung, so as you're cornering, it kind of flops over a bit in the back. It was designed to do that, to set the car up for the next corner. It's a bit disconcerting at first, but you will get used to it. Efficiency isn't so hot, especially for a car that is this small and light. I just think the engine's a bit overstressed because it doesn't make any torque, but we're talking 26 miles per gallon around town, 34 mpg on the highway. As far as safety goes, believe it or not, nobody has crash tested a 4th generation Miata, so we don't know. What we do know is if you get one, you are buying a small, lightweight convertible. Be aware of that. However, it does come with a whole bunch of automatic safety features, such as forward emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning, and rear cross traffic alert. Plus, if you start to spend a little coin and get some options, you begin to get things like automatic high beams and rain sensing windshield wipers. How much? Okay, you can get into a base Mazda Miata for less than $28,000. That's a great value. The car sitting next to me, $31,500. And here's the thing, if you look at the competition, the Toyota 86, the Subaru BRZ, they're priced almost identically, with the BRZ costing a little bit more. If you look at those 4-cylinder convertible Mustangs and Camaros, they cost a couple $1,000s more, but remember, they're not really competitors. They have things like back seats. The point is, for the money, there is no better sports car value than a Miata. If there's one thing I want you to know about the 2021 Mazda MX-5, AKA Miata, it's that it's awesome. Am I gonna agree with the kids on the internet and declare that the Miata is always the answer? No, I'm not, because for me, the answer is typically the 470 horsepower Jeep 392. But the point remains that for the money, you're simply not gonna find a better sports car experience than the Mazda Miata. To see vehicle rankings and a complete buyer's guide, please visit motortrend.com/cars.